Hi, boys and girls. Time to read Chapter 9 of Bug Brother. Hope you're excited. Chapter 9, The Seventh Wish. If you remember, they were looking into Mr. Granger's backyard, and they saw something really incredible. There was a bright green dragon. I wonder who the dragon was or where it came from. The Seventh Wish. The dragon was reading a newspaper. It was clamped between its claws, and the bottom part of the newspaper was all singed. Then I realized why. Every time the dragon breathed, black smoke poured out of his nose. Suddenly I lost my balance and tumbled onto the grass. Rima helped me up. I don't believe it, I stuttered. I didn't either at first, said Rima. I heard that snorting noise again, so I peeped over the fence, and there it was. A real-life dragon! Luckily, he was reading, so he didn't spot me. Her voice rose. Where did that dragon come from, Jamie? How do I know? I began. And then I remembered. Oh, no. What? Well, this morning, Mr. Granger was moaning at us again. So I wished he'd turn into a dragon. I only said it under my breath, though. But the Kate must have heard. Yeah, and he's been a dragon ever since. I shook my head in amazement. Do you suppose he knows? Rima giggled. We'll just wait until he looks in the mirror. A definite improvement, I'd say. We were both grinning now. Then we heard this roaring noise from next door and stopped grinning. He could go rampaging off at any moment, said Rima. You've got to turn him back. I know. We both clambered to the top of the fence. The dragon was flinging his newspaper to the ground. It was completely singed now. Then he spotted us and immediately snorted with fury. Being a dragon hasn't improved his temper, I muttered. Just get on with it, whispered Rima. I grabbed the cape. Luckily, it was still wet. And I said, Number 7, I wish Mr. Granger would turn back into his normal appearance. Only from now on, he will like all children and never mind if their ball goes into the yard. Rima nudged me. Oh, no, she gasped. The dragon was charging toward us, and now real flames of fire were shooting out of its nose. There's the dragon charging towards them, all hot and bothered. In 7 seconds, he'll be gone, I whispered. But the 7 seconds seemed to pass very slowly. He came pounding right up to the fence. I could feel the hotness of his smoky breath. Any moment now, he was going to smash through into my backyard. Then, all at once, he hurtled backward as if he had just trodden on a banana skin. Next thing, he was high up in the air, roaring and fizzing like a particularly nasty firework. I waved at him. He must have spotted me because his roaring grew even louder. But then he vanished. I'm really glad he's gone, said Rima. Then we gazed down at Mr. Granger sitting on the grass. Excuse me. He got up, spotted the dragon's footsteps on his lawn, and began muttering furiously to himself. Then he noticed how the clothes on the clothesline were covered in smoke. Someone's let a large dog into my yard, he called, and someone else is having a horrible bonfire. Why are my neighbors so inconsiderate? He spied us, and all at once, his face twisted into a smile. Why, hello there, children. Good to see you. How are you both? It was quite a shock to see Mr. Granger being so nice to us. We're fine, thanks, I whispered. Good, and he waved to us, and then he climbed down from the fence. What about that? I said. Hey, are you okay, Rima? Oh, yes, it's just the way that dragon came charging toward us. It was a bit scary. I decided Rima needed a tall, cold glass of lemonade to calm her nerves. I was going to get her one from the kitchen, but I didn't need to go to all that trouble. I could wish her a drink, so I said, Number 7, give Rima a large glass of lemonade, please. Oh, don't do that, cried Rima. Well, why not? Don't you want a drink? Yes, faltered Rima. And the next moment, the biggest glass of lemonade I'd ever seen appeared beside her. Rima reached out and took a sip. Delicious, she said. Try a bit. I did. It's great. Still, only the best from the Cape, I said. Yes, then Rima frowned. What is it? I asked. Nothing, only... Go on. Well, I just wondered if your cape has a 7 on it because it only grants 7 wishes. I started. And how many wishes have I had? My lemonade was the 7th wish, she said quietly. We'd better wish for something else. I know. I wish that apple tree over there would grow chocolate. Well, that's a silly wish, said Rima. No, it isn't. But no chocolate appeared on the tree or elsewhere. So we tried another wish, this time for a large bar of chocolate. Again, nothing happened. I stared at Rima in horror. You're right. I think I've used all my wishes up. There they are sitting with the glass of lemonade. Well, I just wonder if your cape has a 7. Oops, sorry. Next page, boys and girls. I lost my place. Mom came out in the backyard. Oh, there you are, she said curiously. She looked curiously at Rima's glass. It's mine, said Rima. I brought it to show Jamie. Well, make sure you take care of it, said Mom. It looks valuable. Just then, Mr. Granger popped his head over the fence. He was holding a ball. Excuse me, but is this your ball, Jamie? I'm afraid it is, began Mom. Mr. Granger glared at her. I'm talking to the lad, not you. Yes, it is, I replied. Mr. Granger's face twisted into another smile. There you are, Jamie. He threw it into the yard. And when it comes over again, just pop over. You're always welcome. It's good to see young people enjoying themselves. Mom could only blink at him in astonishment. Well, he's changed, hasn't he? She said. He certainly has, I replied, winking at Rima. Then Mom's face became serious. Is everything all right with Harry? Did anything happen while I was away? No, I said quickly. Why? Well, he doesn't seem himself, said Mom. Then that gave me a shock. But of course, Harry was himself. I'd switched him back. He's just sitting in his bedroom, continued Mom. Says he doesn't want to come down, and I'm not sure why. I'll go and see him, I began. Mom looked uneasily. Well, it'll be all right, I said. I sprinted upstairs. Harry was still lying on his bed. Hello? Hello, he murmured. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing. Yeah, there is. He turned away from me. Then suddenly he blurted out, I had a really nasty dream. He waited for me to burst out laughing. Instead, I leaned on the edge of the bed. Well, what was it about? I asked. I dreamed that you turned me into a bluebottle, and I got swatted at by Aunt Nora, and then I got stuck in a spider web? That was really horrible. He began to shiver, and I actually felt sorry for my little brother. It was just a dream, I said, but it's still in my eyes. And then he added, in the dream, you rescued me. You got me out of the spider web. Did I? I tried to sound surprised. Of course, you wouldn't have done that, really. Here are the two brothers talking to each other. I might. Harry shook his head vigorously. You'd have left me there to be eaten alive. No, I wouldn't. Yes, you would. His voice rose. You'd never help me. Harry was getting me mad again. In a minute, we'd be arguing. I decided to go. I marched to the door. Suddenly, Harry cried out, When I call for you at night, you never come. I whirled around. What are you talking about? I get scared when it's dark, whispered Harry. Do you? I was totally amazed. My bedroom gets really dark sometimes, darker than your room or Mom and Dad's. That's why I called for you. All at once, I remembered Harry shouting out at night. But I didn't realize. I thought you were just shouting my name to annoy me. You never care, said Harry indignantly. Don't be silly, I paused. Look, next time you need my help, I'll be there. His eyes flicked up at me. Will you really? Yeah. What about if it's very late? Call me any time. Is that a promise? I didn't answer. Instead, I walked over to him and stretched out my hand. He grabbed a hold of it, and then Mom came in. Of course, she thought we were arm wrestling. Stop that at once, Jamie, she demanded. Stop what? I asked. Jamie's been helping me, exclaimed Harry. Has he? Oh, sorry, said Mom. I should think so, I replied. Aunt Nora says you haven't eaten anything all day, Harry. Are you feeling poorly, love? Asked Mom. I was, but I'm better now, said Harry, springing out of bed, and I'm starving. Well, here's some chocolate cake left in the kitchen. Harry thumped off to the door. See you later, Jamie, he said. See you, Harry, I replied. Mom watched us astonished. Well, you certainly cheered Harry up, she said. You know, Harry does look up to you, Jamie. Before I'd have snapped. How can he when he's bigger than me? But today I just murmured, yeah, I think he does. Now I've got to look for your dad's fishing rod, began Mom. Why? Well, your Aunt Nora said she wants to take up fishing. I can't think why. Later, when I told Rima about Aunt Nora, she couldn't stop laughing. We were in the backyard. Rima's glass of lemonade was so huge she still hadn't finished it yet. But it hadn't gotten warm at all. It's been an incredible day, said Rima. I just wish we hadn't used up all the cape's magic. I took the cape off my shoulders, and the gold stars seemed to shine brighter than ever before. The 7 was so dazzling you practically needed sunglasses to look at it. Was the cape trying to send me a secret message? I think it was. Rima, I said excitedly, I'm sure that there's still magic in this cape. Are you? Asked Rima eagerly. Yeah, lots of it. Lots and lots of it. Rima looked as if her birthday had come early. Perhaps it's 7 wishes a month, she said. Or a week, I said. Or a day, she cried. I grinned at her. I think the magic has only just begun. There they are, talking about the cape. Book's over. I hope you enjoyed Bug Brother. I miss you all. Stay safe and healthy.